Hi everyone, today I'm going to be taking a quick look at the second edition of the Pursuit of Happiness and some of the new things with it. If this looks like a computer screen to you, that's because it is. I have still got the lovely first edition box there. That didn't come with an upgrade pack, I've just got new cards to show off. So let's first take a look at some of the things that come with the Kickstarter promos pack for this new edition. And if you missed the Kickstarter, don't worry, I did. You can go on Artipia's website and in their shop you can buy the promo pack, and here is some of the stuff you'll be getting with it. So we'll start off with this is just extra cards. There's no new features on here, but just nice to have more things. So more items to buy. You can buy a smartphone, a record collection, you can go on a backpacking trip, go to a game convention, you can even go to Essen. And then new projects, design clothes, fencing, photography, cosplay convention, board game night. And always nice to have some new life goals, some new endgame bonus conditions, fulfilled life, team player, zookeeper, which to have pets that we'll come to later. And of course, some new partners. So we've got Nick, Mike and Victor, or Nicole, Michelle and Victoria. So that's a nice little deck there of extra things that aren't going to change the game, but it's always nice to have more in a game like this. So the first new kind of concept in the promo pack is these events. So these will all be shuffled up and put in a pile next to the board, and in each adult round before the upkeep phase we will reveal the first one. And these aren't shuffled actually, but there are positive events with green like these, and negative events in orange like this. And we will know what's going to happen a round in advance. So we could know that next round promotions are going to require 2 less resources. When getting a promotion, you may search the jobs pile for the new job. Wow, that can be amazing, especially if your particular job has just not come out this time and you don't want to waste all of your short-term happiness. But to get this bonus, this round you are going to have to use the study action, and then you can put one of your just something that denotes you, one of your spare hourglass markers or something else if you've got them all out. But use the study action and then you will get this bonus at the start of the next round, and so will anyone else that's done this as well. And there's things like years of plenty. Get 1 resource of each type. Once in the round you may refresh one of the card rows without losing happiness, and to do that you can't get any stress in the round. What else have we got? Technological breakthrough. Whenever you take or advance a project, pay 1 resource less. You may change one of the required resource to a resource of your choice. Wow. But to make that happen, you're going to have to pay 2 creativity. And then we have some negative things that can affect you. So -1 short-term happiness and lose 3 resources. That would be terrible. But you can prevent this happening by the round before, use the interact action. Or what else could there be? At the end of the round, lose half of your money rounded up, get a stress and lose a short-term happiness. Cannot be prevented. Oh no, that would be terrible for that to come out, but it's a natural disaster. You can't prevent that. So that's one new thing. We have got the events. Next we have trends. So this is 7 cards, for 1 for each project category. And I don't know if you noticed, it said in the rulebook that the projects have all got a type up here. So you see A is arts, H is health, and they've all got that type in there. And it said in the rulebook that they're just kind of for telling your story, and they don't really do anything yet, but they might in the future. Well, this is where they do something. So we shuffle these 7 cards when we set up the game. So there's 1 for every type, and we draw 3 of them and put them face up on the table and get rid of the rest. And these will show the categories that are popular in our lifetimes. And so at the end of the game, each player will get extra points, extra long-term happiness, according to the number of projects that they've completed that belong to those categories. And all types count. So starting a single round project will still count towards it, and being the leader of the group project will count towards it as well. So that's another way of earning points, and a reward for kind of following a certain type of thing as well, if you're particularly storytelling with your character. Next we have pets. Now these just get shuffled in with the item activity cards, and you get a pet just by buying just as normal, but you can only pick the top level, of course. You see some of them, like cats and dogs, have a lot of levels, so you can only buy the first level there with the cost and get the reward there. Then, and you can't use actions to advance. That's something I'll mention in a second. There's a new thing in the second edition where you can advance items. You can't advance pets, you can't make them older on purpose, but during upkeep, they're going to advance to the next level, and you'll have a different amount to pay, and you'll get rewards for doing it. But eventually, they are sadly going to pass on like pets do, but they are not considered to be items as well. You see at the bottom there, they don't say items or activities, they are pets. And so things that affect items don't affect pets. And there are specific things like that life goal that we saw that specifically says pets. And we've got birds, cats, dogs, fish, hamsters, horse, a llama, monkey, rabbit, and tortoise. So lots of choice there in your pets. Finally, we have these standalone jobs. And these are 3 new job cards with jobs on either side. And these are different in that they don't have levels, but they do have an option for you to work harder. And you can do this up to twice, up to 2 times, and get this reward. And in upkeep as well, you can also choose to work harder up to 2 times and get the extra. So you get 7 base for being this farmer on the family farm, but you can work harder up to twice, but you have to take stress to do it. So that's probably not going to be something you'd want to do, but you can be a handyman, and handyman gets stress as well. So yeah, they're the same on either side, they're just a different type of job for your particular character's story. So you could be a radio producer or a stand-up comedian, and there you would pay resources as normal to double the upkeep. Okay, next up, I thought I would take a quick look at the upgrade pack, because I am a first edition owner, and if you are too, then, well, I'm sure that a lot of you saw the Kickstarter, but if you missed it like me, when you are buying the Kickstarter promos from the Artipia website, you can pay a little extra, and it's not very much, and you basically get all of the cards from the base game replaced with these new cards. And I've had a quick look through and seen a few differences that I thought it was worth mentioning. So, to start with, we all now get 2 kind of rule summaries each, little reference cards that are both double-sided, and tell you how certain things like stress and short-term happiness and things work. The life goals, you might have noticed this when I showed you the new ones from the promos, but they used to have all the same art there, the same picture on all of the cards. They have now got completely different art on all of them. And the Living It Up card is a new one that's just in the upgrade pack. I'm pretty sure that's not in there. The same goes for child traits. They used to all have the same picture, and now they have some lovely unique art. And the rich and resourceful cards are also new, that reward you for resting, and at the beginning of each battle round gain a money because you are rich. With the partners, the art is slightly different. You see there, this is the new on the left and the old ones on the right, and the requirements have been coloured in as normal now rather than being the same colour as the upkeep. Now the jobs, I didn't even notice that this had been done. This was a surprise to me when the cards arrived and I went through them. The one thing that we thought was a little bit strange was that they're just called science job, arts job, and things like that, and you're just a star worker or a adequate worker or whatever. Now you have the choice to be a professor or a rocket scientist at the top of the science tree, and in between then, the cards are exactly the same. The requirements and everything on them are the same as before, but now you can choose what you want to be, and they're double-sided like the partner cards, so there's a lot of choice in here on what you want to do. And some of the art is slightly different, but you find that the art, you see there, that's the same picture there, but it's just been changed up a little bit. With the projects, I've noticed that on the old cards where they had the time printed that you needed to spend to do it, it might have been a little confusing because it tells you in the rule book that you need to spend a time to do the action. Well, that time that you were spending to do the action to continue your project was this time. So it's been a bit simplified now, so those costs have all been taken off, although some have been rebalanced a little bit. And some, there weren't many that I noticed, but there are a couple of little goofs on the cards, the old cards, that is. And I swear when we were playing with someone that they got to the final level of being a TV presenter and only paid 1 resource. But because it hasn't got a number, we realised that that was a mistake. Well, now that's been corrected and it needs 6. And there's a couple of things like that where they've been changed a little bit, like the jogging is a little bit more expensive. You see, that's the equivalent of paying 3 at the end there now. And the art's been changed slightly, but in the main, they're pretty much the same, the projects. And as for the items and activities, they are pretty much the same. The only difference is I noticed that the art, again, slightly different on some of the cards. And there are some things like football's been changed to soccer, and things have kind of been Americanized a little bit, but it's in partnership with Stronghold Games now, so that's not surprising. I imagine a lot of American people will be playing the game. And a little note on the rules, I noticed a big change in the second edition was that you can now upgrade items and repeat activities. So you can use an action when you've already taken an activity. Say early in the game, I just wanted some cheap drinks when I went to a cocktail party. But later on, I'm more well off now and I might want to go to a cocktail party again. Well, I can spend a time on the cocktail party, and as long as I am taking a better level, then I can repeat the activity and go for the better parts of it. And that's the same for an item as well. And that also means that activities are no longer set aside at the end of the round, because now they stay there because you can upgrade them. And another little thing I noticed was that the develop relationship icon on the board now, you actually do the action on the card rather than the board. Because in the original first edition game, to advance the relationship, if you wanted to do it in the same round that you got the relationship, you would have to take stress because you're going on the same action space as before. Well, now advancing the relationship is done on the card, so there's no risk of doing that. I think that's everything that I've noticed that's different. It's not an exhaustive list. I'm sure there's a couple more things in the rules, but there's some really cool things in here, and I can't wait to throw these in and try out the new and improved Pursuit of Happiness. And that's all for this, everyone. Bye for now.